The media is the enemy of the people. Yes, we said it. But it is. The media is the enemy because since the beginning of the month, we have kept you informed about the atrocious activities of the doomsday cult in Shakahola. We are the enemy of the people because our teams went out into the forest of tragedy to unearth what is arguably the most barbaric religious radicalization the country has experienced, and which, tragically so, has resulted in the deaths of nearly 100 people and counting, majority of them being children. We're the enemy because we made the national government lose their sleep over the hoi polloi who lost their lives in Kilifi. The same government that is mandated to protect life has failed its people, and it's not apologetic about. In fact, the government is concerned that the media and other non-state actors accessed the scene way before they could get up from their slumber. It is not lost on Kenyans that the first national leader, the Inspector General of Police, abandoned the woodworks his way to the forest of death 3 weeks after the story broke. His boss, the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Kithure Kindiki, followed a day later, spoke tough, seeking to affirm, recover, and guess what? Everyone who was there before him has been kicked out and the area declared as disturbed. When the Paul Mackenzie's misguided followers were dying in dozens, was the area not disturbed? When our teams braved the traumatic scenes of exhuming 90 bodies from the shallow graves, was the area serene? Was the intelligence not as intelligent? The number of fatalities is sadly rising fast, threatening to plunge the image of the country into a grave itself, and the government, the constitutionally mandated protector of life and property, seems to be training its operational guns at the messengers, painting the picture of the initial statement that we started this editorial comment with. The media is the enemy of the people. It is written, and I quote, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free," unquote. But is the government denying you, the great people of the Republic of Kenya, an opportunity to be free by knowing the truth? Well, many have unequivocally stated that the government has failed on this one, but no apology from the state. Instead, the powerful officials flexing the enormous power they wield to suppress the flow of information. We don't expose the realities in society because it's fun to do. We do it for public good, and we shall not stop because a few people's egos get injured by it. P.S. There is a greater injury to the public we serve. That is a grave reality. That time is now, and we're here and ready to serve. The true story of Shakahola must be told, and the public is depending on the media. And this is only fully effective when there is no undue barring of access. The government must be cognizant of the fact that at a time when there is a blot on its image, it must be alive to the optics of the handling of the operation. Is transparency too much to ask? That's what we're asking. Mr. Kindiki, before you left the comfort of silence and inaction while a tragedy was brewing and flew to the ground in that remote village in Kilifi to get a glimpse of the horror, our team's complaints were not about denied access. If anything, the concerns were about the glaring absence of your leadership. They had no unreasonable denial of access to tell the story. The call is plain and simple. Do the right thing. Let the media tell the Shakahola story to the conclusive end, and with no gaps that are unnecessary and unavoidable. Unless there is something else, the public ought to know. We are here for it. And on the ground in the county of Kilifi, where Kevin Mutai and Brian Obuya are on standby to give us some of the latest developments of the unfolding horror in Shakahola. Let's get this going with the news highlights.
Tonight,
nobody is allowed to go inside.